understand Islam. You know, Islam came with 5 things. And these 5 things, if we preserve them, we will have a good society, healthy society. First one, Islam came to preserve religion.
Salam and peace. Welcome to Dawah Dude. Inshallah, today in our Polish Your Dawah Jams, I will share a short clip from Brother Shamshi. He does the Dawah in the Hyde Park. And I have seen this argument actually, especially the importance of Islam and the guidance of Islam based on these 5 things. And Hamza Darren also uses actually these 5 things also to convince people about Islam. And I used recently a couple of weeks ago, and that works very well. Actually, I explained that why Islam is so important for humanity, and these 5 things are so important to understand that how society can be protected and benefit all mankind. So let me play for you this clip. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe it.
Islam came to preserve religion. What does that mean? It means in Islam, if you start worshipping a false god that including our desires, then we'll have corruption, and I will demonstrate to you that. But when you worship the true God, Islam tells you to protect your intellect. That's why in Islam alcohol and drugs is forbidden. Thirdly, Islam came to preserve wealth. That's why in Islam interest and gambling is forbidden. Fourthly, Islam came to preserve marriage and families. That's why adultery and fornication is forbidden. Lastly, Islam came to preserve life. That's why harming yourself, killing innocent people, committing suicide is forbidden. These 5 things that Islam came to preserve, if we preserve them, we will have a good society. Alcohol destroys us, individually and collectively. You agree? Gambling, likewise. Yes. And what he does to you, literally I know stories, not 1, not 10, over 50 stories. When you hear people, they start becoming addicted to gambling, they go steal from their children, they steal PlayStation 2 to go sell it, or PlayStation 5, I'm back, you know, steal PlayStation 2, PlayStation 5 and sell it just to gamble. So gambling, make likewise. What they call it interest. Interest is new slavery. Interest make the rich richer, poor poorer. Likewise, fornication, adultery destroys societies. You have children, they don't know their parents and so on. And I grew up, children generally speaking, who they don't know their parents and so on, they grew up mentally not well, generally speaking. I'm not saying everyone, yes? There's exception of that. So Islam, when it came to preserve these 5 things, put up barriers. However, there is some people benefit from these vices. Who are they? The people in power. They do benefit from gambling, interest, even though they know it's bad for us. So what they do, because they're rich, they're making money from the suffering of the people, they use their wealth to make Islam look bad, even though Islam is good for us individually and collectively. And the question we ask ourselves, how man that existed, Prophet Muhammad, who came with Islam, how man that existed 1,400 years ago was able to come with this perfect way of life? The 5 necessities about protecting our intellect, health and wealth and so on, you know, about worshiping the true God. And now, also I was going to mention to you, because you're talking about the government and power, those who are in power, when Islam comes to preserve these 5 things, he brought up barriers. Anyone that break down those barriers, there's a punishment. Because we human beings, we don't think ahead. We always want something quick, even though it's bad for us. But the creator of everything, he knows what is good for us in details, what is bad for us in details. So when you look at Islamic legislation and you compare it to human legislation, Islamic legislation, the example I give is like when you go to a doctor. You with me? You go to a doctor and you say, I have a pain. What doctor give you? Painkillers. What painkillers do does not treat the root of the problem. Painkillers just manage the symptoms and cover up the pain. But Islamic legislation, you okay, yeah? All right. All right. Islamic legislation deal with the problem from the roots. That's why in Islam we have something called what evil leads to evil, you have to stop it. Don't say, yeah, I know it leads to evil, but keep doing it. Like drink little alcohol is okay. No, it's going to lead to greater evil. So how Prophet Muhammad came with is a perfect way of life. He couldn't read and write, but we have these politicians who studied in the best universities around the world. They cannot resolve the problems we are facing. Because Prophet Muhammad, the legislation that he came with, والسلام, the legislation of Islam came from the Almighty. That's why it's perfect for us. That's why even you agree with it. Because it makes sense. You understand? You go, that's what I'm saying. So how man couldn't read and write? He never went to universities. He's coming with this perfect way of life that strengthen our belief there is a creator.